This is the LeMieux Report for the week of May 4th, 2009. While legislators will be back this week to finalize the state budget and Seminole Gaming Compact, the results are in on what passed and what failed in this year's legislative session. What passed? Raising college tuition. Lawmakers agreed to Governor Crisp's proposal to create excellence in higher education. The bill now headed to the governor's desk allows each of Florida's 11 state universities to raise tuition up to 15% to reach the national average. But those institutions can only raise the tuition if they meet performance standards. Bottom line, the tuition rate at Florida's public colleges and universities is still the lowest in the nation. This small increase will provide schools the resources they need to pursue academic excellence. And students, faculty members, and researchers will benefit as Florida schools become better able to compete with others across the nation. Lawmakers passed glide path legislation that will slowly increase state-run insurance companies' citizens' premiums at a pace of 10% each year until premiums reach market rates. New legislation also allows consumers the choice to purchase a homeowner's insurance policy that is less regulated by the state. This legislation is in reaction to State Farm, Florida's largest private property insurer, announcing plans to begin a 2-year withdrawal from the Sunshine State after failing to receive an approval for a 47% increase. Bottom line, if lawmakers did nothing, citizens' rates would have risen to market rates, drastically increasing the monthly premiums paid by homeowners in high-risk areas. Proponents believe the glide path will encourage homeowners to seek insurance in the private market. The consumer choice legislation will allow Floridians to stay with State Farm and other insurance companies with the understanding that their rates could increase drastically. Let's wait and see if the governor approves this measure. The Florida House passed legislation to loosen class size limits imposed by Florida voters in 2002, but the Senate never took it up. The bill would have left the decision up to the Florida voters again, putting an amendment on the 2010 ballot that would restructure the previous class size amendment, taking into account the current economy and state budget limitations. The proposed amendment allows school districts to meet the requirements on a school average basis and not in each classroom. Bottom line, there is still time to bring this proposal back next year in advance of the 2010 general election. Now for what failed. Central Florida Sunrail. Again this year, the highly debated proposal to divert freight traffic from the Orlando metro area towards Polk County in favor of a Central Florida commuter rail failed to pass the Florida Senate on the final day of the legislative session. The failure of Sunrail could be extremely detrimental to Florida's ability to secure federal funding and acquire public-private partnerships for future rail projects, as those projects would require a similar liability provision. Bottom line, senators against the proposal looked gleeful Friday evening when they successfully killed the project. The old maxim that the executive proposes and the legislature disposes proved true again. A decade from now, when we still have no commuter rail in Central Florida, or perhaps anywhere in Florida, we will know who to blame. Representative Dean Cannon recently unveiled a legislative proposal to give the Florida cabinet the authority to approve proposals for oil and natural gas drilling off the Gulf Coast of Florida between 3 and 10 miles from shore. The legislation would reverse a ban on drilling off the coast of the Sunshine State that has been in place for decades. Perhaps not coincidentally, the Florida House failed to pass Governor Crisp's proposal, which was passed by the Senate, to set utility emission standards requiring utility companies to generate at least 20% of their power from clean energy sources by 2020. Nearly 30 states have passed similar restrictions. Bottom line, rather than reaching a compromise and allowing the cabinet to consider broadening Florida's energy portfolio, while at the same time adopting renewable energy standards to encourage alternative fuels, lawmakers chose to do nothing, not a profile in legislative courage.